is this? Do you know who this is? Who is that? She said, God. You see that? Prime example. Crafty counsel. That's not God. That's not Jesus.
Straight up.
That is the deceiver.
That's right.
Christ is described in the scriptures. So why do they make him look like this? People think that this is a white man's book, but I want to read something, and I want y'all to tell me what y'all get out of this. What's your name, bro? Ants? Lance. What's your name? Jason. Watch this.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity.
He that leads into captivity, meaning he that takes another person into captivity,
shall go into captivity.
That person or those people shall go into captivity. Read.
He that killeth with the sword.
He that killeth with the sword. Read.
Must be killed with the sword.
Must be killed with the sword. So that those people that lead into captivity have to go into captivity. Those people that kill with the sword must be killed with the sword. So, I'm holding this sign up. Who led people into captivity? Huh? No. Who led us into captivity?
White people.
Say that again?
White people.
That's right.
That's right.
The white man led us into captivity.
Right.
So, we have this misconception as a people that this is a white man's book.
Right.
But we just read here the prophecy. Give me Isaiah 14. We read here the prophecy of what happens when you lead a people into captivity.
Right.
You're going to go into captivity. Why would the white man lead that in his book? If it's talking about him, and this is his book, why would he lead that in there? He did this. Right? And when you say our people, you mean Africans. The Africans did sell us to the Greeks. But we're not African. Right. We're the Israelites, according to the Bible. Africans are the seed of Ham. We're the seed of Shem.
That's right.
All right? Get that in the Zondervans for me real quick. Read.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
God's going to have mercy on Jacob. What's your nationality? I want you to look at this sign and tell me where you come from. Did you do this already too? Come look at your sign. Look at this sign and tell us where y'all come from. Judah. That's the head tribe. That's the tribe Christ came from. Read.
And will yet choose Israel.
So God said he's going to have mercy on Jacob, which is the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. He said he's going to choose the Israelites. Read.
And set them in their own land.
He's going to set us in our own land. Right? When Christ returns, after we do our job in keeping God's commandments, he's going to set us in our own land. Read.
And the strangers shall be joined with them.
Who y'all think the strangers are? Everybody else. That's not Israelites.
Right.
Those strangers are going to be joined with us. But how are they going to be joined with us? Read.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
So those strangers are going to cleave to us. They're going to cleave to you, Lance. They're going to cleave to you. Read.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
The people is us. We're going to take those strangers or those other nations, the so-called white man, the so-called East Indian man, the so-called Arab. Right. We're going to take them and do what?
And the house of Israel shall possess them.
We're going to possess them. What does it mean to possess somebody? Not that kind of possess. Possess like if this is in my possession, what does it mean? I own it. So we're going to take those other nations, those strangers, and read it again.
And the house of Israel shall possess them.
What does that mean? We're going to own them.
That's right.
Ain't that what we just read in Revelation? They're going to they got to go into captivity.
Right.
So no, this is not the white man's book. This is our book.
Right.
This is the Israelites' book. Read that. I want that definition. This is Ham. The definition of Ham.
This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary.
For the misconception that we sold our own people into slavery. It's Africans or Hamites that sold Israelites into slavery, the so-called blacks and Hispanics. Read.
Page 213. Ham, the youngest son of Noah.
Ham was the youngest son of Noah. You had Shem, Ham, and Japheth, right? Ham was the youngest son. Read.
Born probably about 96 years before the flood. And one of 8 persons who lived through the flood.
Right. He was brought through the flood with his brothers, their wives, and Noah and his wife. Read.
He became the progenitor of the dark races.
He became the forefather of the dark races. Let's find out which dark races he became the forefather of. Read.
But not the Negro.
Not the Negro, though.
Right.
The Negro is the American black.
Bring it up.
We the Negroes, the so-called Negroes.
Right.
God said, or the scholars recognized and understood that Ham was the forefather of the dark nations, but not the African Americans. Read.
But the Egyptians,
He was the forefather of the Egyptians,
the Ethiopians,
the Ethiopians,
Libyans,
the Libyans,
and Canaanites.
and the Canaanites. That's who Ham was the forefather of. So no, he wasn't the forefather of the so-called blacks in America.
That's right.
Right? That's a misconception. That's why we have the thought that we sold our own people into slavery, because we do know that it was a black people that sold us to the Greeks. But it wasn't our people. It was the Hamites. Get me that in.
Joel 3.
Yeah, I want Exodus 11 and then I want Joel 3. Read.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 7.
Bring it up.
But against any of the children of Israel,
Against any of the children of Israel. That's these people right here. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Read.
shall not a dog move his tongue.
Shall not a dog move his tongue. Meaning there's no other nation above the children of Israel.
Right.
Read.
Against man or beast,
Against man or beast. Our beasts are better than theirs.
Right.
And them. Read.
that ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
He put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
That's right.
Why would he have to put a difference? Because we look similar.
Right.
We all have melanated skin, right? You're darker than most of us out here, so you would resemble more like because the Egyptians are dark. They real dark. But because you have more melanin in your skin, y'all would look similar. But there's a difference between y'all's bloodline.
Right.
You understand? You are African American, so-called, meaning you from the tribe of Judah, an Israelite, God's chosen people.
That's right.
The Hamites are not God's chosen people.
Right.
Right? So God had to put a difference between us because we do look similar, but we are not the same. Get that in Joel?
Bring it up.
Joel chapter 3 and verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
So Judah and Jerusalem is the southern and northern kingdom of Israel, because there was a split that happened with our nation because we fell into idolatry.
Right.
Right? So Judah, Benjamin, and Levi make up the southern kingdom of Israel. Ephraim on down make up the northern kingdom of Israel, also called Israel or Jerusalem. So sometimes when you read the Bible, you hear it say Judah, but it's talking about all three of these tribes. And then you'll hear them say Jerusalem or Israel, and it's talking about the other tribes, the northern kingdom tribes. Right? So this is when it said the captivity would come again for Judah and Jerusalem, meaning the whole nation of Israel.
That's right.
So the captivity is what? Slavery. Right? Read.
Verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
I will gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Right? That is going into the judgment that's going to happen.
Right.
Read.
And will plead with them there for my people.
And God said he's going to cause destruction. He's going to kill, because us pleading is making coming to an agreement. Right? But God's pleading is different.
Right.
When God pleads, he's putting people to death.
That's right.
He's setting things in order how it's supposed to be.
Right.
So he said he's going to plead with the other nations for us, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, his people. Read.
And for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations.
That's the point. Whom they have scattered amongst the nations, meaning the other nations sold us into slavery. They scattered our people. So, for example, when they came and took so-called Africans, when they came and took the so-called African Americans from the west coast of Africa and took us to Spain, then they took us to the West Indies, or they took us to South America, or they took us to Charleston, South Carolina. That is them scattering the people. Read.
And parted my land.
And they parted God's land, because who's in Jerusalem today? Is it us? Is it the real Jews? Nah. It's Amalek, the so-called white man. Amalek is in Israel today. They over there fighting with Gaza and the Palestinians. They're doing that in our land. They parted our land. That's not their land. That's why it doesn't yield any of its substance. It's dry and dirty, but it's not supposed to be like that. It's only like that because they don't belong there. Read.
And they have cast lots for my people.
What does it mean to cast lots? Nigga, sold to Master Charles in Virginia. Right. They cast lots for our people.
Bring it out.
Read. Who cast lots? Read on.
And have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine.
That's going into what happened with slavery, right? Sometimes when a plantation master would visit another plantation, they would gift them our children,
right?
Or gift them our wives, our sons and daughters. That's what it's talking about. They have sold a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine. Read.
That they might drink.
Read.
Yea, oh, what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Those are Hamitic nations. Those are Africans. God said, what do you got to do with me, Tyre and Zidon? Hamites, Africans. Y'all sold my people. That's what that's talking about. Read.
And all the coast of Palestine.
And all the coast of Palestine. That's look at this. All of these people that live over here, this ain't the map for it, but the people that live here in this area and in this area sold us from here to here. All of that happened to the Israelites. It didn't happen by Israelites. It happened to the Israelites.
That's right.
The Hamites sold us into slavery. That's
right.
The Africans. Okay? That makes sense? So, yeah, anytime anybody come to y'all and say we sold our own people into slavery, that is a lie. You know what's crazy? Get Psalms 83.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
My familia is the 12.
That is crafty counsel.
That's right.
You know why? Because what it would do would make us sympathize with the people who actually did this to us.
Right.
Because we can say, man, the white man did this. He put us into slavery. The reason why my kids got taken from me is because of him.
Right.
But we won't say that if we also saying, well, we sold ourselves into slavery.
Bring it up.
It dismisses the atrocities that actually happened to us. Right. It dismisses the fact that y'all got sold into slavery, not them.
Right.
Right? It's called Stockholm syndrome. It's a form of Stockholm syndrome where you have sympathy for the other nations and you make up excuses and doctrines for them.
Right.
Well, we sold our own selves into slavery. So you can't get mad at them. No, I can't get mad at them because we didn't sell ourselves into slavery.
That's right.
Read.
Psalms chapter 83 and verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They've taken crafty counsel against your people. What does that mean? They would make up things that would confuse us. They would make things up that would make it hard for us to understand the reality or the truth of the matter. Right? For example, we sold ourselves into slavery. That's crafty counsel. What's another form of crafty counsel? This. That picture right here. Because I guarantee you, if you bring up a young child, you mind if we use is this your daughter, your sister? Come here, young sister. Who is this? Do you know who this is? Who is that? She said, God. You see that? Prime example. Crafty counsel. That's not God. That's not Jesus.
Bring it up.
That is the deceiver.
That's right.
Christ is described in the scriptures. So why do they make him look like this? It's crafty counsel. Because guess what? If you beat enough people on their back for long enough and tell them that this is Jesus, they're going to teach their kids that that's Jesus. They're not even going to open this book. What I need to look at it for? Master already told me that this is Jesus. Read.
They have said, and have consulted against thy hidden ones.
They consulted against the hidden ones. Because before today, did you know you was from the tribe of Judah? You didn't know that, right? What tribe you from? You don't know? We got a sign right here to help you out. What about you, sis? You don't know? What's your father's nationality? Half Indian. What kind of Indian?
Cherokee.
Cherokee Indian. So he's either Gad or he's either Gad. Cherokee's is Gad. Or what's the other half of him? Because it goes by the lineage of your father. So whatever his father is, that's what he is. So if his father was a Cherokee Indian, he's from the tribe of Gad.
That's right.
If his father is a so-called African American, he's from the tribe of Judah. You understand? You got to step off? We got more information for you, bro. So we congregate every Saturday in Greenville, right? And we do this. We pop up in different places every Sabbath. So you got a phone? Have them give them the QR code. Read.
Verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
To cut somebody off from being a nation means that they don't remember where they come from. The fact that we even call ourselves black proves that we don't know where we come from.
Right.
Or African American. That proves we don't know where we come from. Leo Scipio Africanus conquered Hannibal in the Second Punic Wars. He was a white man.
Right.
Amerigo Vespucci is a white man, an Italian. So African American is a byword, two names of two people who don't look like us, that are not our people. So it proves that we don't know where we come from, right? But that's what we're undoing. So all of that crafty counsel, all of that consultation that they had amongst each other to hide who we are, we undoing that today.
Right.
Read.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That's why they do it, so that we don't remember who we are. We'll sit there and say we sold ourselves into slavery. That's foolishness.
Right.
What people would sell themselves into slavery?
Bring it up.
That is crazy. Get Revelation. I want to describe Jesus the Christ for this young sister right here. Read.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 1.
Bring it up.
The revelation of Jesus Christ.
The revelation of Jesus Christ. What's the root word of reveal? I just gave y'all the word. The root word of revelation is reveal.
Right.
Right? So this is the revealing of Jesus Christ. Read.
Verse 14.
No, read verse 1.
Yes, sir. Which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
Read.
And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
So this is John on the island of Patmos. He's about to get the revelation of Christ. All right, read.
Who bear record.
What does it mean to bear record? If somebody says, I'm gonna talk to you, but this is off the record, what's that mean? It's not gonna be documented, right? John bear record, meaning he did what? He documented it. Read.
Of the word of God and of the testimony of Jesus Christ.
The word of God and the testimony of Christ, right? Jesus Christ, read.
And of all things that he saw.
So he wrote down the testimony of Christ and everything that he saw. Y'all get that? Which means it's something physical. He's seeing it. Now jump to 14. Read.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Who got woolly hair? We're gonna play a game. Who got woolly hair?
Santa Claus.
This dude said Santa Claus. Who got woolly hair?
No.
Us. Feel your hair.
Yeah, we got woolly hair.
Woolly hair is like the texture of a sheep. Right? It's kinky. We can put it in an afro. We can pick it out. We can braid it. We can do all kinds. It's woolly. It has a lot of volume. God said Jesus Christ got woolly hair.
That's right.
His hair was white and it was woolly. Read.
As white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
That's going into the whites of his eyes were red because he drank wine. You ever see somebody when they drink, the whites of their eyes get a little glossed over. They turn a little bit red. That is what was happening. He wasn't a drunk, but that's why it says his eyes were as a flame of fire. And you can prove that with Genesis 49. We're not going to go to it. Read.
Verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass.
Now, what color is brass? Like a gold, right? It's a brown. It's a derivative of brown. So, Jesus had woolly hair, and he had skin, or his feet, the top of your feet, the same color as your skin, like unto fine brass, or it was golden. But let's describe that gold a little bit further. Read.
As if they burned in a furnace.
So you take that gold or that bronze, that darkish brownish color, and then you burn it. You pull it out that fire. What color is it going to be? Black. So,
Right.
why do they say this is Jesus? Interesting. It's crafty counsel against our people.
Right.
Our people supposed to know that Jesus looked like them. You supposed to know that Jesus looked like you, Lance. You understand? Because if we understood that Christ looked like us, we would see Christ in each other.
Right.
What happens then? I'm not going to kill that brother. He looked like my Lord and Savior.
That's right.
Especially if you believe.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ, bless Bishop Nathaniel here. Hey, March 2025, we're going to have a land blitz fundraiser. So what I need you all to do is hit the QR code, whatever that thing is right there, fill it out on all our social media platforms, because we blitzing. We need this land. We got to get this fundraiser done, Israel. I'm trusting you. Get it done.
Cap, what's a land blitz fundraiser? Exactly what it is. We blitzing for the land. One day, with a large goal, we're gonna raise the funds for the land. That's my goal, that's my mission, and we're gonna make it happen. And I need your help to get it done. There's a link on the Bishop's Instagram and all of our social medias. Click on that link and fill it out. What you're going to do is, you're going to estimate what amount of donation you can make on this one day. On that day, you can also make random donations. But those of you that are watching this video now, we want to get an estimate of how hard we're going to have to go when we blitz. There will also be an in-house event. Y'all remember the Journey to Freedom? This is going to be bigger and better, live from Atlanta. You better get your tickets now, because probably after this announcement, it's going to be sold out. Only 400 tickets. But guess what? All the funds are going to the land. So get it now. Get it now.
What is the nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models.